Never threaten an open marriage to guilt your wife into more sex. It's going to backfire. Welcome back to the Secure Husband Podcast. Bruce Abbott, certified professional coach and founder of SecureHusband.com, where we help good men stop reacting out of pain and start leading their marriages with peace and emotional strength. When you're feeling frustrated and hurt, they'll say something like, maybe we should just open the marriage. I guess I'll just find someone else who wants me. You're not interested. Maybe someone else will be. What's the point of monogamy if nothing's happening? So I want you to take just a moment and think about you by yourself on a Friday night, and some other man is having sex with your wife. Because here's the reality. She's going to be able to get more sex as a married woman than you will as a married man. It will backfire, and what you're doing is not leading. You are sabotaging your marriage. You are putting the final nail in the coffin. Because this isn't a bold step. This isn't edgy. This isn't, hey, I'm finally being honest. This is manipulative, passive-aggressive, cowardly, and it will destroy your marriage. It will kill your wife's trust. And you're doing this out of pain. You're just not in a good emotional state. You're frustrated. You're desperate. There's no shame in that. But this is a threat that you don't want to make. Because let's be honest, most men don't actually want an open marriage. They want their wife to finally want them again. But when this doesn't happen, they reach for control. They reach for something. They weaponize the one thing they think might get her attention. Jealousy, shock, the threat of being replaced, dread. But you're not trying to liberate her. You're not trying to make it easier for her to have sex with some other man. You're trying to say, if you don't give me what I want, someone else will. It's a warning shot, and instead of motivating her to come closer, it will push her farther away. It's going to kill the safety that your marriage so desperately needs. So if you're thinking about pulling this card out, you need to just stop and take a deep breath and just notice the neediness in this power play. Because you think you're asserting strength when you talk about opening up the marriage, but just look a little deeper. What's really underneath this? You feel rejected. You feel invisible. You don't know how else to get your wife's attention. I mean, you're afraid you're not enough. This is not strength. This is shame and fear and desperation. It's dressed up in this boldness. And when you try to lead from that place, you're not creating attraction, you're creating distance. Because now your wife doesn't feel safe. She doesn't feel seen. She feels emotionally threatened and manipulated. And no trust will grow in that environment. It just completely dies. And just once you notice that neediness, you can take a breath and pause and make a choice. Choose not to use the shock tactic to get closeness. So if you're thinking, hey, if we're not having sex, why are we even monogamous? Just stop that thought in its tracks. If you're thinking, I could have had sex with someone else by now, or at least in an open marriage, someone would want me. You think you're being honest, again, but what you're really doing is you're threatening connection to get connection. And there will be no connection. Because there will be no emotional leadership, and it's survival mode sabotage. So you don't get affection through fear. You don't invite intimacy by shaming your wife. What you have to do is you have to heal. You have to heal that real wound that's behind this threat, that wounded self that thinks that an open marriage is going to shock her into changing. You've got to heal that part of you that fears being unwanted. Because you're hurting. You feel like you're not being chosen, and it's killing you inside. Instead of sitting with that pain and healing it, you're trying to outsource it to some other tactic. And that involves putting the responsibility on her to fix your feelings of rejection. And as we've mentioned over and over in this podcast, when she doesn't, because she can't heal externally what's wounded in you internally. But it's not her job to rescue you. You have to show up for that younger, wounded part of you, that little boy. And you got to tell him, hey, little guy, even though I feel unwanted, you're still enough. And you know what? We're not going to lash out. We're not going to threaten. Little guy, I love you, and we're going to lead through this, even though we're both afraid, because it's okay to be afraid. Fear is natural, and learning to manage it will bring you emotional maturity, and that's going to help create that safety again. And it just gives you a moment to pause, heal, and sit in reality. Because the reality is, if your wife wanted to have sex with someone else, she probably could, easily. Kids or not, wedding ring or not, if a woman decides she wants sex, it's there. But you as a guy, you're married, you're likely over 30, 35. You might not have a line of women waiting, and you're really not emotionally prepared for what this would even do to to your life and your kids, your identity, your finances. And when you threaten an open marriage, it's like being at a casino and you're bluffing with a crappy hand. You got bad cards, and she knows it. And if she ever does take you seriously, it's going to end up in a nightmare, because she will rediscover her sexuality with someone else while you're still sleeping on the couch, resentful, bitter, and alone. And you think sex is scarce now. Wait until you've weaponized it and driven it completely out of the marriage. And I know that sounds very harsh, but I'm saying this out of love. This is a weapon you don't want to mess with. This is not the tool to help fix a marriage. So what you got to do is you got to lead with truth and not threats. You say, babe, I miss intimacy with you. I'm struggling. And I know I've used pressure or other tactics as a way to get attention. I want to stop doing that. I want to lead from love and not fear and insecurity. That's powerful. That's authentic. That's truthful. Because now you're speaking your truth without trying to convince her of something or control her response. And you're certainly not threatening. You're inviting conversation. You're not demanding compliance and threatening Armageddon. So trust now can come back, because that trust is what creates safety, and the safety is where the real intimacy grows. Slowly but surely. I always say it's not a quick fix, but as that starts to grow, then the sex can come back. It does take some time, but as you heal and you become more the secure husband, you start to become the man who doesn't need to threaten to feel powerful and to get his needs met. And it allows you to live in integrity. When you take ownership of your healing and love from fullness and not fear, that's real leadership, and that's emotional stability. That's what's going to make you trustworthy again, even when the bedroom's still quiet, but you're not going to make it worse by making threats. So if you ever thought of using that threat of an open marriage to get your wife's attention, look, you're in pain, but you're reacting, and that's not leading, and it's going to backfire, because when you do it and she feels unsafe and she feels confused, then you're going to push her further away. So just don't go there, and instead heal the wound, own your needs, and lead with clarity. That's what a secure husband does. I hope this podcast has been helpful for you. If so, please give me a review, hit that subscribe button for more Secure Husband episodes. Hey, share this episode with someone who you think may need to hear this. And visit securehusband.com for more resources and to book one-on-one coaching with me. And I'll see you again on the next Secure Husband podcast. Thanks for listening.